Hey, how you doing? It's Clayton here from howtodrawcomics.net, and welcome to a HTDC special. Today, we have, of course, the wonderful Rob Arnold as my co-host, Dan Fraga, and Rob Willis.
Yes.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing, guys? And later on, about an hour in, we are going to have Thibert join us as well. Now, these guys are very, very talented. If you haven't seen their artwork, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And they're going to be sharing with us their best drawing tips, tricks, and techniques, and doing some critiques a little later on in the show, going over some of the work that was submitted from the HTDC community and giving those pieces their thoughts. So how's everybody doing today? Dan, your YouTube channel has been taken down.
They got nuked.
Got nuked.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
that
We were midstream. We were midstream, and one of the guests said, "Dude, you need to go on YouTube and look at your channel." And I was like, "What? Why?" And I looked at it, and it was gone. Like, this channel does not exist. My videos exist. I went into the YouTube studio on my phone. It says an error has occurred. Checked my emails, and apparently my thumbnail of a girl in a bikini with the words "hi" written on her butt was offensive to somebody. Multiple reports of how dare he. And YouTube takes that sort of thing very strongly. And it was reported as nudity and explicit sexual content, which is ridiculous. It was literally a pair of butt cheeks in a bikini with sand on the butt with the words "hi" written on it.
I saw that one.
Yeah, that's what did it.
Could you get around that if you
look at my
the status of your stream?
I don't know. That's a good question. Like an 18 or over type thing, or I'm not sure. All I know is that it's gone. I filed an appeal. I haven't heard word one back, and I started a new channel at youtube.com/c/Fragaboom.
Yeah.
And you can get on there, and it's I got 4 videos up. I'm going to be putting some more up. You're going to see a leaner, meaner, cleaner show. And
nice.
So I just recommend, if anybody wants to gain some knowledge, especially, I mean, obviously the people that watch your show, how to draw stuff. I've got different insights. That's what's wonderful about YouTube, is there's many ways to skin a cat. And it's great to get as many of those techniques down as you can. So my show is one of those resources.
Totally. And
definitely
we'll put a link to that in the description below as well.
Thank you.
George has already got it in chat for us. George.
Oh, thank you, George. Appreciate that, man.
That's crazy, Fraga, because like you look at my YouTube homepage, and it's like I've got all like deep house and chill house type music, and all the thumbnails for that kind of music are like half naked chicks. Yeah. So just
I think there's like certain specifics, like I looked at the guidelines, and it was like we lost Rob. They were saying things like partially closed, even partially draped buttocks. That just like there was certain verbiage, and I'm like, that's so weird. You look at a Nicki Minaj video, which has millions of views, and there's like way more skin. There's way more suggestion, titty shaking, ass shaking, And I have a still picture. I also had a 6-minute or 6-second clip of ass titty, the catchphrase, and it was just a bikini butt, some cleavage with a shirt on, and Fragaboom. That's it. So yeah, somebody wasn't happy about it and reported it. But either, like I said, it had more than 3 reports, which means somebody doesn't like ass titty, and oh well.
Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
The good thing is you're up to nearly 800 subs already.
Right now, let me check. It's been a while. I was on he was just face earlier today, and we were just talking and putting the word out. Let's see where we are at. Oh, neat. This is great. We are at 1,500.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's
Still gotta
great.
sign up for your new channel.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. It's just Frega Boom. It's there.
I saw the post. I just didn't get around. I didn't have a
Yeah.
chance to do it yet.
But really cool new thumbnails. Everything is sort of unified, and it's got a look to it. Similar font, similar design. So I'm just trying to streamline it and make it look really professional now.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's the opportunity, you know. It's an opportunity that's there. So why not take it? You know, lemons and lemonade, as they say.
That's exactly it. That's the best you can do. And Rob Willis, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys?
Pretty
Great.
good. You keeping busy?
Yeah. Keep them busy. Very
I've
good.
seen your work
Rob's
for
always good.
I've seen your work for Dan Fraga and Von with the with Dr. MD. No. Sorry, Monster MD. What am I
It's
talking
actually
about?
that one's for both of our projects. It's coming with the
Cool.
That book's coming with the Shinobi Sasquatch package too. So
Nice.
I was kind of committed to that. I was supposed to draw the whole book, and that wasn't happening.
Oh
So
man, that would have been amazing.
The cover. The book's
Rob,
really cool though.
Is your
The guy that
microphone
did Monster MD.
far away?
Huh?
Is your mic far away? It's a bit hard to hear you.
And
I can hear him.
Yeah, it's the way I had to set up today, since I'm going to be drawing. I can't really use. I don't think I can use my earbuds. I mean, let me try. Let me see.
I can hear you fine.
Have you guys seen this? I know you have, Rob.
Yeah, I
It's-
got mine in the mail the other day.
First appearance, I think, right, of Dredge.
Nice.
Oh yeah. I got a little ad in the back there. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I love Matt Weldon stuff, and Mr. Fowler writes a good yarn. But I gotta say, as always, I'm a big Rob Willis fan, and there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Matt threw
Isn't
me
that
in the
cool?
book. I was actually surprised. I forgot he said he was going to do that. And when I was reading the book, I got to that, and I was like, "Oh shit, some of my work in here." So that
So
was
sick. So, Rob, with Dredge, you must be really itching to get started on that project.
Man,
But I'm guessing you still got work to do on Shinobi.
Yeah, I got to finish Shinobi. A couple other things. I'm dying to start on Dredge, and but it's really cool. When I came up with Dredge, it was like that. I sat down, I started writing one night. A couple days later, I drew out that picture, and now since then, I've thought of some different things. How I might modify the character a little bit. Not too much, but there's going to be some subtle changes I add. So that piece right there is basically just a promo piece, because I was thinking about using it as a cover, but I don't think it's going to be the cover now. I'm going to be drawing something different. So,
Cool. Maybe a variant.
Maybe. Yeah, I think I want to use it for something, because the guy that actually bought that piece bought it with the idea that it was going to be a cover. So I don't want to screw him over or anything like that.
Make
so
it a poster, man.
Something. Maybe a poster or something.
That's definitely a poster. That I want my right.
But the cover, I want the cover to have a little more intensity to it. I'm gonna have him doing something. I mean, that one, he's just kind of standing there. So
Yeah.
I want it to kind of jump off the page.
It's going to be interesting seeing you do your own work. Like if it changes at all, or if it goes to a whole new level.
It's gonna be wild. This is gonna be it's gonna be a crazy book, and I'm gonna have free range to do whatever I want since I'm writing it, and I think it's gonna show. Now I got a lot of free range with Shinobi Sasquatch, so it's not gonna be too different, but it's going to be a wild book, especially for the readers. Especially if you read Shinobi Sasquatch and then you read Dredge, and if you're expecting anything to be similar, don't. It's not going to be the same.
Cool.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be for kids under. I'll tell you, that aren't teenagers. Now, I used to get away with a lot when I was a teenager. So, what I read as a teenager, you know what I mean. might be different than what some other parents might let their kids read as a teenager. You know what I mean?
I don't think any of our parents let us read these things.
Yeah.
That's what made them fun. All right.
Should we get stuck into some drawing? What are you guys going to be drawing?
I have no idea what I'm going to draw. I'm just going to draw.
Cool. That sounds good.
I'm going to be working on a pit drawing. I haven't started. I started it, and then I was doing a close-up. I was going to do a close-up of him, and then I saw somebody post. They were working on a pit drawing too. I think it was Dalton, Cartoon Muscle. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, holy shit! I'm sitting here drawing the same guy right now, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to do a full body. I'm going to do I don't know. Maybe he just took a picture of the close up or something like that. But I wanted to switch mine up a little bit after I saw that. So I'm going to start over now. I'm going to do a full body piece with minimal background. I won't finish it on this stream, but if I'm lucky, I'll get the basic layout, get into doing some shading and maybe a little bit of rendering just for the show. Usually I do all my my black in pencils first, and then I'll go back and render everything. But if I can, I'll try and do a little bit of everything and show my process a little bit. And
that would be incredible. This
would be really speedy, though. Normally, guys, when I sit down, I do a lot of erasing, trying to get the pose right, how exactly I want it. Getting the layout is always the longest part for me. Once I get the layout down, I breeze through it. But today, I'm just going to try and zoom on through it. I'm going to try and just put something down and go. So
cool, man. Do it.
I'll use this as practice.
Do you mind if we ask questions along the way? Questions that might also be in the mind of the viewers watching?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't put the camera on the paper so you guys can watch, but I'm going to draw and then period.
That's cool.
My phone broke. I was going to try and set it up to where I could set my phone up and just watch on my tablet.
Awesome.
Let my phone do it, but my phone, that's what my phone looks like right now.
Jeez.
Brutal.
And I haven't had a chance to go out and get a new one. That's happening tomorrow. So
yeah, that's all good. So I've noticed, Rob, that when you're drawing, penciling specifically, you keep those pencils really, really tight and then move on to the inks. Do you ever feel like you might be able to loosen up on those pencils a little bit, save some time, and then jump into the inks? Or in order to feel confident that you're going to be able to ink it as accurately as in a minute and as polished as you can, you need to have those pencils tight?
Yeah, more now, more so. I can kind of get away with some looser pencils now. Before, I didn't have any confidence in just going in with ink and getting my rendering right. And getting all my shadows in place to capture whatever kind of effect I'm trying to get. So I wanted to make sure I got everything done in pencil first.
Awesome.
Even the rendering. So but now I could probably get away with a little bit of looser pencils. But I actually like to do the detailed pencils. I enjoy it. And I do feel more confident that my work is going to turn out better if I get the pencils right. And it saves me any guesswork when I'm inking also. You got guys that have been doing this for a lot longer, and I've seen some people just jump right into it, and I don't have that confidence yet.
Well, especially because you're traditional.
Well, yeah, that's one thing, but there's other guys that are traditional that just they know their stuff. You know, they've been doing it a while. They're very confident in their work. They have no problem just going right in and just starting to sling that ink. And I don't have that. I don't have that confidence yet. I feel like if I do that, I'm going to make a mistake and I'm going to want to trash the whole picture.
I know the feeling.
Because it's very, for me, it takes one little mistake and I'm bummed. I'm like, all right, I don't even want to draw this anymore now. So I probably got to get over that because these are some of these mistakes I could probably correct even. It's just I just don't do it. I just say,
Yeah.
you know what? I crumble it up and I put it in the garbage.
Oh my god,
Totally.
he's a savage, man. Like, look at this.
Dan Fraga, look at him go.
Dan does not play. I've
Wow.
seen him so many times.
I'm just gonna leave this up. I feel like
that's amazing. Like, he's using like a tiny pencil as well.
It's a golf pencil. I bought a box of these at Staples for like $7. You can get like 100 of these for like $7, and they you just get a little pencil sharpener and go to town.
But look how you hold the pencil too. That's unique as well.
I haven't really thought of that.
yeah, that's good, man. I mean, it's kind of a very loose way of holding a pencil, which I feel like has been a major problem for me lately, is just my death grip around my stylus. And by the end of the day, my hand is just tired. And we've talked about this before, Dan, where you shared with us a little technique that you'd heard from Jim Lee, I believe,
a hot cold
dealing with tired hands. What was that again? Refresh my memory.
You run your hand under hot water and then cold water, and then hot water and then cold water. That sort of thing. You alternate. It's kind of a therapy thing.
Yep.
I'm just going to leave that up till Fraga sees it.
Draw ghost.
That's
I'm
great.
intimidated. Sometimes when you see the best version ever, you can't really. And I've seen the two best versions ever. Really, between Clayton and Rob's, I'm gonna be like, third man, which is just sad, very sad.
Is that Rascal?
No, it's just Sniper.
Sniper. Oh.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, I thought that was his hair up top. My bad.
No, that's a beret.
Beret. I got
you.
You're a fast worker, Dan.
Gotta be, man. Storyboards is where I learned how to be fast.
And just incredible knowledge of anatomy. Where is your head at when you're drawing? What kind of things are you thinking about? Just everyday life stuff, or are you thinking about the technique and what you're doing there on the page?
It depends on what stage I'm in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like right now, I'm thinking about geometry and how that geometry relates to the other bits of geometry. So for example, like this arm right here, I know that this shape right here is leaning back, and I want this shape to go this way, but I want this to go back a little bit. So I want this to sort of relate that like that.
Yep.
So as I'm doing that and I'm working the muscles on top of that, I'm constantly thinking about that geometry and also its relationship to this geometry. And like down here in the hips, I know this cylinder is going to come out with this leg, how that muscle would sit on top of that leg. So I'm thinking about 3D form as I do this. And then next, because guys like Rob Willis have showed me that, lighting is essential. I was never really a lighting guy. I think about, hey, wouldn't it be cool to put a light source here? So then I'll put, sort of a rough indication of where the shadowing is going to be. Again, thinking of it always as 3D shapes.
Amazing.
And then usually I go right into inks from this. Like I'm one of those guys that Rob Willis hates.
I don't hate. I admire.
Okay.
Anybody who has that kind of confidence to just jump right into inking like that, I'm blown away by it.
It's not confidence, man. It's the whole, like, if your kid, if a car was about to fall on your kid, you would be a superhuman and go lift that kid, or lift the car off of the kid. For me, deadlines on storyboards have been so crazy. You have to do sort of superhuman amounts of work in a very small amount of time, that I'm always just thinking about get it done,
Nice.
That's it. So it's not even like there's I still, if I was, let's say I had more, like if I knew I had a lot of time on this thing, I could end up like getting in my own head and going, nah, you know what? It'd be cool if this leg was here. No, it'd be cool if this leg was, no, when you're racing a clock, or you are in that mindset of, no, this has to be done tomorrow. There's another one. If I'm like for example, I have a date on Black Flag, right? I have to have everything done into the printer by September 15th.
Wow.
And even though I said I've got that January, delivery, I want to deliver at the end of October and the beginning of November. So in order to do that, I have to have it done by September 15th. And to do that, I have to do this page a day, because tomorrow I have to do that page. And if I get off track, then I have to draw pages faster, and I don't want to draw pages faster. So more time actually lends to paralysis and analysis. And when you have no time to analyze, you rest. You go completely in. Like, you call it confidence. I just call it like there's no other choice.
Yeah, I guess that's a different way to look at it. When you just got to get it done, but you get used to that. I mean, you build up some sort of confidence because it's something you've been used to having to do.
Yeah,
I haven't had that wonderful.
Oh, you will
experience yet.
You will. It'll happen, man. It's one of those things, right? It's like you just, I don't know. Like for me, that the specter of that deadline is what makes it so I've got to do it.
I hear that. That's a good motivator right there.
Yeah.
We got a question. When working on the later stages of a drawing, how do you determine when to make the line thick or thin?
Is that for me or is that for Rob?
Either.
Well, that's cool. Are you running this dual? Is like this running on Facebook and YouTube?
Yep, it sure is.
Cool. I got to start doing that. What do you call it? I think of a couple of things, right? Like, so if let's say there's a ball, right? Or even let's use the shape of someone's nose. I consider the light source. Wherever the light is hitting is going to be thinner, and as the volume, you can create this shape of this ball with just line like that. This thicker part means it's in shadow, right? Or if I was to have, say, an arm, using that same thing, if the light was coming from the top, this part would be slightly thicker. This would be thicker, and then this gives it a sense of volume. So, cool. Same with the nose. The bridge here would be a little thinner down as it got lower, down under here thicker. So you get this form is solid, and there's a little bit of shadow underneath there.
Perfect. That's great.
Yeah, Dan nailed that. And also, just if it looks cool too. Sometimes adding a little flair to your lines, just a little difference. Basically, what Dan said, it's basically about your line weight and where the shadow and everything is. But there's some little flares you can add in there that are just for effect, just to make it look a little more playful. Something I like about Silvestri. His pencils. I don't know who usually inks the guy, but he does a lot of what's it called when you just kind of hint at it. He breaks his lines up, things like that, and that looks really cool too.
Definitely.
I don't know how to do that well, so I don't do it. But it's really cool if you know how to do that and you know how to break those lines up in certain areas and just really. Very suggestive, you know what I mean? More so than solid.
Yeah, indicated.
Suggestive work. That looks really cool too.
Rob, let us know when you want to show off your piece.
It depends
What?
with the.
What'd you
Rob
say?
was just saying, let us know when you want to show off the work you're doing.
Show what I got.
Yeah.
When you're ready, man.
Well, right now I'm just kind of getting. It doesn't really look like much, but I can show it off.
For sure.
Like I said, it's Pitt, so there's a lot of chains and he's got clothes. But right now, I'm just getting the. Right now, I'm just getting the basic. Body.
Yep.
And I may end up changing it. I don't know, but this. He looks a little plain and simple right now, but I'm just getting his. Basically
Cool.
his body down how I want. And it looks a little funny now that I look at it on camera. But when it's all done, it'll be good. I'll probably
Nice.
go back and erase some things, change some things up. But I'm just trying to get his pose down right now. And
It looks pretty tight, man.
basically, well, it's as much as the big guys, I draw a lot of like these big characters for some reason. I'm not as I don't really like to draw them as much because they're so big, you know what I mean, that you can't really use actual anatomy, like anatomy, but you got to really blow a lot of the proportions out on these guys, and it can be a little funny getting that right. So when I'm doing guys like this, these bigger characters, I'll always go back and have to change a few things before I'm happy with the body style, because you want to capture some energy and you want to some but with these beefy characters, it's kind of hard to get that fluid motion. I guess if you could say it that way, it's a little tricky to me.
Yeah, they're kind of bulky and awkward when they move.
Very awkward, bulky, yes. But once I play around with them long enough, I get it right.
Cool.
So, I started drawing this guy, and I really don't. I mean, I remember Pitt, but I don't. I wish I could go and look at some references as far as his jacket goes. I know it's just like a little, basically like two straps almost that just go around his arm and then like a collar. But
Yeah, it's like a vest.
Yeah, a tiny little vest too. Or at least it looks tiny on him.
Fraga, good question for you. Are you inking on tracing paper?
No.
There you go.
Just going right in.
Yep, beautiful.
Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. I envy your speed of production, Dan.
Oh, thanks, man. You gotta be fast, man.
Yeah.
Because
It's not something I'm good at.
The thing with storyboards is, you're drawing anywhere from 40 to 100 frames in a sitting. So you gotta be fast.
Yeah, those deadlines really hold you accountable when it comes to getting this stuff done. If you've got a self-imposed deadline, Dan, how do you hold yourself accountable to that? Like, I know you've got, I guess, the expectations of your backers right now on your comic book, but let's just say
their expectations are January. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
months off, and for me, because I have a rollout in my mind that I want to do. It's like I want to do this, get it out. I want to campaign for the second issue in November. I want to campaign for issue 3 in April. I want to campaign the next one for issue 4 in November. So it's like, in order for all of that to work, it's imperative that I hit those dates.
So you're thinking ahead, and that's what's motivating you. That's what's holding you accountable to get things done now in the present.
Yes.
Cool.
So cool, man.
For your comic book, Dan, are you doing it traditionally like this, or are you doing it digitally?
It's a hybrid. We call it tradigital. So what I do is I do essentially what I'm doing here, digitally, I will do like a rough pencil, like this sort of this pencil layer here. And then I will go into create a new layer and tighten that, and create another layer and tighten up. Then I send that file to Shelby, the inker of the book, and he prints it out and he inks it on paper. So it has that human finished touch, but I get the speed and efficiency and workflow of working digitally.
So I think that's so clever, dude. Like anything to make your job easier is a good move.
Yeah, easier and just like I said, there's that efficiency aspect of it that's super important.
And do you keep the lines, the penciled artwork fairly tight for your inker?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean that my pencils, they're tight enough. I've had editors say we could just print from these digital pencils. They're tight enough. But a couple of things. Number one, I think Shelby as an inker definitely enhances and upgrades what I've already done. And then number two, I really want an original, not only to put on the campaign, but like I like the fact that there's an artifact for this stuff,
Yeah.
Some of my favorite books, I'm glad that, like The Dark Knight, when I look at like The Dark Knight, I'm glad that those originals are out there and that it wasn't done 100% digitally, because then, you wouldn't be able to see how cool that the actual work was.
Yeah, man, that's so true.
I reckon, Fraga, you got a really cool crossover opportunity with Art to Bear. You could call it Black and White Flag.
Yeah, right. That's
cool.
true. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Art. I mean, I want to work with Art. He and I used to work together, but it's been like decades since we've actually worked on something that I penciled that he inked. So that would be pretty interesting to do something with Art.
Yeah, even if it's just a cover or something, that'd look really cool.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that would come to fruition.
So do you think there's anything, like, what are your thoughts when it comes to just skipping the whole inking process altogether, leaving your pencils tight, and then kind of, darkening that up or whatever, preparing it for the comic book and just leaving it at that? Like, say, for example, Rob's pencils are just super tight. Is there anything wrong with him, or what are your thoughts on, an artist like him just darkening that up in Photoshop and coloring right in over the top? Would there be much of a difference?
I think again, Rob, when Rob inks his own stuff, he pluses what's already awesome.
Totally.
I think they're both great, and it's almost like getting one of your favorite songs that's been slightly remixed. It's like the song's great, but then you hear it slightly remixed, and it's a heater already. So I don't know. And as far as like, my personal preference, I mean, that I like seeing stuff inked, but I'm not the artist of that particular thing. So that's 100% theirs. There's plenty of guys that'll just go from pencils, and I know Joe Mad did that.
Yep.
On Avenging Spider-Man, he did it on Avengers 3 or Ultimates 3. He did it on Inhuman. That's cool. I mean, that's again, that it's entirely up to him that if that's what he wants. And
his Joe Matt's pencils are crazy clean though. Like, well, actually they're not. It's not that they're clean, but they have the effect. I don't know. I think his work is better penciled, because it's clean, but he also adds in a lot of loose lines.
Yeah,
add energy to it. That you can't really capture that well when you ink.
Yeah, I see that.
And then with the right colorist, which he usually has some pretty good colors.
Yeah, Marty Gracia was great on Inhuman.
accentuate his pencils very well.
True.
So,
Yeah.
Rob, with Dredge, do you have an idea who's going to color that?
No, I haven't got that far. I actually talked to somebody about it. I think I talked to Dollhouse about coloring it.
Oh yeah.
But he was also supposed to be coloring the piece that was in that magazine, and I haven't heard back from him yet. So I don't know if he contacted me a while back and said he was pretty busy, and I told him no rush. I'm nowhere near ready to get rolling on this book yet, so just take your time. So maybe he's just taking advantage of the fact that I told him, hey, take your time. So I don't know if he's going to be too busy when it really comes time for it, or if I'm going to have to, or if he's going to be there. So it could be Andrew Dollhouse, or it could be somebody else.
You can get Matt Yackey, I know he'd do it.
I could. Whoever it is, it's going to be. I'm going to be very particular about him. So I'm going to have to see certain examples of what they're capable of, because I got a certain idea of how I want this book to be colored. And Matt's good. So I just this is a very dark book, so I want to see how those mood colors are. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So, but
that makes perfect sense.
Give Matt a shout out if he's available, and see if he wants to work with me.
And
Yeah,
totally.
How long are we looking at before you start on that? You've got Shinobi. How much have you got left to do there?
Well, how long before I start? Well, I want to make sure I get the story down, because I'm writing it, so I want to make sure the story is on point. I'm going to be doing a lot of concept art along the way here, and I'll be starting on that really soon.
Cool.
Before Shinobi is fulfilled, I'll be taking little breaks in between to get some of the character designs down, and I'll be showing that artwork off. But I want to make sure that the story is on point before I even sit down to draw the first page, which I guess that's pretty much typical with anybody. They want to make sure they know what the story is.
Absolutely. And how much of the story have you got worked out inside your mind?
A lot of it.
Nice.
Most of it. I have what I'll do is I've got the basic story in my mind, and what I'll do is when it comes down to specific dialogue or certain scenes playing out a certain way, I sit down and I write those out. So the back and forth, the environment, the setting and everything. If it's specific, I'll sit down and write out the whole scene, very detailed. And aside from that, just the basic story, how it's going to move along, I haven't written that down yet. So it's going to be at the end, I'm going to have a bunch of puzzle pieces that are going to all fit together into one story.
Yeah, that's a cool way of doing it. It's a little bit more creative. I found
this book's going to be nuts. It's going to be a ride. So I don't want it to be like reading a novel or something like that. I want the reader to think a little bit while they're reading it. Maybe even some of the story jumping around, things like that. I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino, so I won't go as far as he does as to bouncing back and forth to the end, to the beginning, things like that, because I don't know how that would work with a comic book. I don't think it would work as well as it does with film. But I do want to. I want to go. I don't know. I want the book. I just want it to be unique. I don't want it to be like anything anybody's read before. And I have a pretty wild imagination. It might be a little cringe for some people. You might read it and be like, I can't believe he just fucking went there. But that's what I want to do.
Like what? Give us an example.
No, I can't. I can't right now.
Okay.
I can't give you an example right now, but it is. This is a very raw book, and there's and with the dialogue and with the scenarios that take place, it's going to be pushed to the extreme at every level that I can pull it off. It's not going to be 100% go the whole book because you got to slow it down some. But when it's go time, you're going to be like, Rob has a fucked up mind. But
Nice.
it's beautifully put together. It's
Can't
gonna
wait,
be really
man.
cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Dan, do you want to run us through what pencils and tools you're using, just for people in chat if they're interested?
Yeah, this is a golf pencil.
Yeah.
You'd see them at bingo games or whatever. And then this is a Faber-Castell Pitt pen. Man, this camera sucks as far as focus. Hold on, let me do this, and hopefully that'll fix. But it's a Faber-Castell, and then this is a Pentel brush sign pen, a fine pen, and it's got a little brush point on it.
Yeah,
which you can go, really thin. You can do nice feathery lines like this.
Yeah.
Or you can come in and drop big, chunky black shapes like this.
So good.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. When you're first sketching this out, Dan, do you have like an image inside your head of the pose that you're going to draw, how the character is going to be positioned, how much space is going to take up on the page? Like, is there any real guesswork or exploration that happens once the pencil goes to paper?
Not anymore. I mean, now I see it pretty finished in my mind. So it's really just sort of about execution, and also like the other thing that I do too, knowing like that we have, we have 2 hours, right? And I go, okay, I have a 15-minute version in my head. I have a 30-minute version in my head. I have a 1 hour version in my head. I have different sort of, different levels of what it would look like depending on how much time I have. So I'm not being as precious with my rendering as I would be on a finished piece, because I know I only have a couple hours, but I want to get this done before this stream is done.
Cool.
Crazy.
I can.
That's nuts.
Man, this camera is horrible.
Your process, Dan, I find so interesting. Like you seem to have everything worked out so well in your head as to what's going to happen. It's just crazy. Again,
it comes from storyboarding. With storyboards, you're a piece in a production.
Yeah.
And if they don't have boards, they can't have their tech scout, and if they don't have their tech scout, their schedule gets fucked. And if their schedule gets fucked, that is a lot of money. So you don't fuck up. That's literally all it boils down to. And I've been storyboarding as well as directing for 17 years. I've been working in storyboards and directing longer than I did in comics. So a lot of that, a lot of those habits and the mindset I take with me. That's where I got the whole concept of different versions, right? Like when I said to you, you can do as many, as few as like 30 boards, or as many as over 100 in one sitting. Well, I try to cap my day at 8 hours, right? Like that's what I try to do as a family guy and all that. So then I go, okay, how many frames will I have to draw per hour to do 100 in this sitting? And then I look at that and I average that out. Like everything ends up becoming like a math problem. And then I go, okay, I have to draw a frame every 6 minutes. What will those frames look like? Let me see if I can do this. There we go. Let's see if it'll adjust focus, and there it goes, sort of. Yeah, this is a real shitty old school webcam, but it's the only thing I can do to put over the desk. But yeah, you just end up having versions, It's like when they're like, oh, you have, we need these 30 frames, and you have 8 hours to do 30 frames. Well, shit, man, you got more than 15 minutes per frame. That's plenty of time, like I can do 4 an hour. That's great. But when, you're having to do 10 an hour or 12 an hour, all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I've got 6 minutes to do this. I'm going to do more based on gesture and, relationship of things. I'm not going to focus on detail. It's not important. Those sort of things. So again, it ends up becoming a math problem, and that confidence thing, it's a necessity to survive under those conditions. As a storyboard artist, there's no time to screw around,
Yeah, Dan, I have to get a piece from you, man. When it's all calmed down a little bit for you,
yeah,
let me know. I'll get something from you, please.
Right on. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. And to answer the black and white question, yeah, what I want to do, I've been thinking about putting out a pencil version of the book, where it's just the pencils, and then at the end, after all 4 books are done, putting out a black and white edition, but also doing a full size, 11 by 17 artist edition.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kind of like the IDW style books, the what do they call them? Artist editions, I guess that's what they call them. But it would be, high-res scans, and it would look and feel like you had the artwork in your lap, that it would be actual size with, coffee stains and all. So that's in the works.
We had a question earlier. Are you releasing anything on Indiegogo in the next couple of months?
Well, we've got the Black Flag campaign that is up and going right now. It's in demand. And then we will be doing, we're turning Rob's amazing contribution into a variant cover at some point in between now and fulfillment. But other than that, no. I mean, this is my first campaign. I don't want to get too crazy. I want to just take care of this book, fulfill this book, and then when we get into the second book, maybe we can get a little sillier with things. But yeah, I don't see doing too much else. The other thing I think I'm going to be doing next year is back in 2014 and 2015, I did this thing where I did a sketch per day. And I posted it on Instagram, and those are all those time lapses that you see. So there's 700 and whatever 365 times 2. Plus I have like a bunch of these sketchbooks that are just like filled to the brim with sketches like this. What else is in here?
Wow. So cool.
Just like so some of this stuff I would basically scan, some of it I would toss, but like here's like an unfinished piece that I was just playing around with. So these are here's something here, like a creature that I was playing around. I like to, sometimes I'll just grab a nib and the classic dipping pen and practice on here. Let's see if there's anything. Oh, those are storyboard notes. Yeah, here's some more practice. What else is in here? Figures. Oh yeah, that was some nib practice and some lighting practice on Sniper, and practicing just leg anatomy. I mean, obviously I know how to draw a leg, but I was just trying to figure out some things with line weights and values and things. So but yeah, I'll probably have a sketchbook that's got all that stuff in there and put that up, because I haven't seen anybody yet on in Comicsgate go, hey, what happens if we just put out like a sketchbook, and
That's
I can put one out that's like no joke, if I did 2 a page of the ones that I did that were 1 a day, if I did, that's 365 pages right there. Right.
Whoa.
just that alone. And then if I was to take my sketchbooks, I could put out a 500-page sketchbook, which is,
I
you
love
know,
That's
sketchbooks.
incredible.
yeah,
I'd definitely buy it.
it'd be
Heck
fun.
yeah. I'd jump on board straight away.
There's 3 backers already, so 3 out of 3.
There you go. Yeah, and the good thing is outside of the production design of putting the book together, the work's done, you know? So basically that would just be like, you know, put it together, get the all of the production design done, the pre-press done, get that off to the printer, and that thing could literally fulfill within you know, a month or 2 of the campaign completing. So that's something that I think would be a lot of fun to do.
All right, I've got a question. How do you improve your speed while retaining your quality?
That's an easy answer, my friend. Draw every day. That's it. It's literally draw every day because, and if you want actual technique advice, like executable advice, what I do, and I do weird shit, and it works. It works for me, and I'm not going to say it works for everyone because it works for me. But what I do is I have on my computer. I use a Mac, but most even PCs have this stuff. You get artwork that you like. I have a lot of naked, models,
Nice.
pictures of naked models. And what I do is I'll put a slideshow on where the slide only lasts, 8 seconds or 15 seconds, that sort of thing. And I will do blind drawing, which is not looking. It's not looking at the drawing. It's just looking at the model and moving my hand as fast as I can. And then what I try to do is capture the gesture in that 8 seconds, as much of that thing as I can. And then it changes, and then you draw more, and then it changes, and then you draw more. I have a baby to kiss. Hold on a second.
All right.
No
So
worries.
you can see the sweet baby.
You check Rob? Oh, hello.
Hello.
Very
cute.
You got the baby. You say hi.
Lucas.
Come on. She loves to draw, so she's kind of coveting the pencil and stuff over there.
Nice.
Ah, nice. Takes after her
Get him
dad.
started early.
You ready to go night nights? Yeah. I love you, big girl.
Adorable.
It looks daytime there, though, Dan.
It doesn't get dark here until about 9 o'clock. And as it gets later, it'll get darker earlier. But yeah, it's 8 p.m. Almost 7:55. I know. Go get your mama.
Funny.
Big girl. Oh,
Rob, how are you going with the pit?
love you, big girl.
Well, I'm just doing. I'm still not satisfied with everything, but I've wanted to go in and do a little bit of I'm messing around with the arm right now. So
Friday?
I don't know if you can see it, but I'm just adding in some
Beauty.
Now, most of this will change.
Crazy.
Like I said, I'm going to go in and probably change a lot of this. I'm speeding through this for the show.
Damn, dude.
Like the veins, I'll probably go back and change those a little bit. Probably mess with the rendering a little differently. Probably add some little itty bitty shapes and divots with the deep shadows and stuff like that. But I wanted to at least put something down to show the viewers.
That's crazy, man. You're good.
It's going to sound like a real noobish question, but how did you learn to do, the muscle shading like that?
Probably just some of it was from watching other artists. It's kind of trying to figure out what the coolest techniques I could steal from them, and then some of it was from being at the gym and seeing actual anatomy.
Yep.
Whether it was my own or somebody working out, because I'd be like, yeah, everybody's built differently. You know what I mean? In life, there's certain muscle groups like in your back, your arms, your chest, everything. But every human being is formed a little differently, and it's crazy. So you see a lot of versatility in the gym, and I didn't sit there and just stare at people or anything, but you're working out next to somebody.
You're a lurker.
I try not to be, and also experimenting with rendering, just because when I started getting into really wanting to get into cross hatching and stuff, I didn't really know how to make the shapes look the way I wanted them to. So I would play around, do different patterns over and over and over and over and over and over until I got my line thickness right, till I got my line separation right, till I got the right patterns and figured out, okay, if I cross it this way, it's going to make the muscle look like it's bulging out. If I do it this way, it's going to make the contour look like it's going inward. Different ways you manipulate your lines add different types of depth and dimension to your shapes. So it's really just a lot of experimenting and just studying.
I know this might not be a possibility, but damn, if these two guys could do even a short course on how to draw comics, my God.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Dude.
I'd be happy to pay you guys to do that. Actually, that'd be amazing. But we'll see. I mean, the thing is with all of us here, we're so damn busy, right? But there's a billion things that we would love to do. I know that's definitely the case for me. Like every time I get pitched a job, I'm like, I wish so badly that I could take it because they're all so fun.
Yeah, and you're turning down work daily, dude, as well.
And heck, I'm doing two projects as it is. Like I'm doing Kozo and doing Renegade Alpha, and it's just like, man. Then I want to make action figures. Then I want to make movies as well, and that's just for me.
Yeah.
So,
I think if I got into doing action figures,
man,
or any kind of sculpting or anything like that, I probably wouldn't want to go back to drawing after that. That's why.
It'll make you want to draw more. I got into sculpting in the fall, and it helped. It made me understand forms a little better, and it made me even more excited about drawing.
Totally. And the funny thing is with sculpting, whether it's digital or traditional, if you're a good artist, you're usually pretty damn good at sculpting as well, because you kind of understand already how form works, and you've got the understanding of anatomy and proportions down pat as well. So all of that translates over into the 3D world.
Yeah.
100%. A question for both of you. Some people often say that they have to be in the mood for drawing. Like, sometimes you get on a win streak with your art. Do you guys have that? Or if I made you stop drawing now, talk about something else and come back, half an hour later, can you pick it up right away?
There is a saying, and it goes something like this. It goes, inspiration is for amateurs. Okay. When you have to get the job done, there's no time to wait for a mood. You just got to go. I mean, I've had good days and bad days. I prefer the good days, obviously, but I have to work through the bad days or the shit doesn't get done. So you don't wait. You don't wait for that inspiration. You have to go.
You do have days where you're more on than others, though.
100%
seems to be flowing just beautifully, and you're creating just some amazing looking work. And some days, like you're saying, Dan, you just got to push through it. And but you take the basic information, you know how to draw it. It may not.
Not feel. There's feel happen when it's good, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that feeling is absent, and you got to just push.
Yeah.
And imagine for both of you having, multiple kids, you don't have the luxury of getting, heaps of time. You've got to do it when you can do it.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
That's got
Rob's face.
That's got to be tough.
My daughter is getting to where she just doesn't want to be. she doesn't want to be, tending to herself anymore. She used to, I could put her in the bed or down on the floor on some pillows and stuff like that and give her tablet, and she would be good for a while. Now that's not it. That went away. I don't know. Over the last few months, she wants to be doing everything I'm doing or being held. If I'm at the desk drawing, she wants to be leaning on the desk, seeing what I'm doing, and then periodically reaching in and grabbing something. And if I tell her no, go, I set her up with her with some cartoons or a tablet or something like that. It lasts about 2 minutes, then she's wanting to get down and run around and get into just. It's getting a little more difficult.
That's tough, man.
It's I still love it though. Like I enjoy it. Because when her mom's around, for some reason, even though, her mom works at the hospital and she works 12-hour shifts. She's not here she's not here as much as me, and when she is, sometimes she's just got to come home and go to sleep and then get back up and go to work. So they spend most of their time with me. And, so I do a lot of the work, you know what I mean? I do a lot of the heavy lifting with the kids. And when she comes home, they don't want nothing to do with me. And it hurts my feelings because I'm like, whoa. I'm like, you have no idea how much love I give to you little brats, and I'm just chopped liver when mommy's home.
Yeah.
It's funny. They miss her, so it's understandable. But yeah, I'm a pretty good dad, so my kids take up a lot of my time, and it does definitely interfere with work progress.
Yeah, man. I can't wait for that to happen on my end. Damn, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Take your time.
Yeah, you gotta. I think you gotta. That's that's that next stage in life where you've just it's gonna be different forever from that point onwards. So you gotta adapt, and we can adapt. I think that's our wonderful gift as human beings, is we're able to adapt to different situations and thrive. And I think I'm a big overthinker, which is what Dan was talking about earlier. Like, for some reason, I can't be so hard on myself that I rush things when it's for me. I'm much better when I am working for other people, because I'm like, all right, deadline, got to get this done. I don't think about it. I just, I slam it out. I put as much effort as I can in. But yeah, it's one of those things when you're left to your own devices and you can take as long on something as you like. There's so much overthinking that happens, and I think that when I do have some kids, that'll go right out the window. I remember Mark Silvestri said something really cool once. I was watching a demonstration of him on YouTube, and he said, the faster you work, the less you think. And usually that's a good thing when it comes to your art, because you're making those subconscious decisions and there's a little bit more energy behind it. You're trusting your intuition. And that can often turn out with a better result than if you're trying to logically and technically think about things.
Big time. Yeah. You overthink it and it loses something. It loses something. Yeah. I like some of the things I draw that are fast. I like more, even though they're not absolutely correct in every way. They seem to have more personality to them. And that goes a long way in comic books, rather than just making everything anatomically perfect.
Heck yeah, man. So this is Shinobi Sasquatch, which is Rob Willis's campaign for his comic book. If you love his artwork, this is the book to get. It's just incredibly detailed, man. I mean, what is that? Like, you're putting out a page a week?
Yeah, pretty much. That's
got to be, man, with that much detail. How long have you been working on that book for again?
Since when did we start? I don't know. When did the campaign? What's the campaign say? Usually it says we made so much money by this amount of time. Like after the first month, what does that say? By
June 1,
1st,
2019.
So we launched it May of 2019. So it's been over a year that I've been drawing this thing. Now, this hasn't been the only work that I've been doing. I wish I could have afforded to not pick up any side work along the way, because I would have much more done and the book would be coming out much sooner. But, with 5 kids and a lot of bills, a lot of responsibility, I had to take on some other work. I had to. There was no way. If not, I would have had to abandon ship and just do nothing. Huh?
It was good for me.
And
it's good for you. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So if I didn't slow it down with the progress of the book and pick up some side work, I would have had to have just said I can't afford to do the book, and that would have been it. I would have I wouldn't be drawing right now, or I wouldn't be drawing comic books. At least I'd be doing something different. So
totally, man.
Though the campaign is, I consider it a huge success. Way more than what we thought we were going to make. It's still for all those guys that are, launching their books and everything. We were about at 80K, but especially when you're working, me and Cal are splitting everything 50-50 on aside from all the other expenses. So, at 80K, when you're working with a team, you're not going to make that much money. It's not affordable. If you're raising a family and things like that, you can't just survive off that. So anybody thinking that
it's 80K with shipping and printing and all that stuff taken out of it as well.
Shipping, printing, paying different people for their jobs, colors, letter, taxes, Indiegogo fees. So it's 80K is really good, but
it's a small slice of the pie in the end.
When you break it all down, especially if you don't work fast, if you're not a Dan Fraga, if you're Dan Fraga, you'd probably be pretty good because he gets the job done quick. If you're me, it's a little different. So I just say keep that in mind when you're putting your book out, that you're gonna have some kind of other source of revenue if you're especially if you're a family man and you've got a lot of bills to pay like me.
Absolutely, man. It's really inspiring to see Dan work. Like, it makes me want to set aside half an hour every day just to do some quick drawing exercises, some quick studies, get a few models up, do a loose sketch, and then follow the same process that Dan's doing, just ink straight over the top, and tell yourself you've got half an hour to do it. I think I got to do something like that.
Yeah, man.
There's no way around it.
I mean, how does it feel, Clayton, that you're not the best 1-minute artist in the group here?
I think I'm starting to become a meme, like the rate at which I work. But you know what? I really am happy with the work that I'm doing. So I feel like there's that. At least the payoff is there. But I do know that in terms of production, to get a comic book done, I got to speed up. I got to find a way of doing that, whether that's... See, I don't know what I'm going to be like when it comes to sequentials. I have a feeling that they'll be a little bit faster than a cover because, for one, you're not dealing with these long, drawn-out lines. You're also dealing with a lot of headshots, a lot of distanced environment shots, and I feel like I'm able to deal with them a little bit better because, you know, my hand doesn't have to go as far to draw a line. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's what I'm thinking.
Your tab or your thumbnails look great, dude. Like the panel layouts and choices are interesting.
Yeah,
and they're not
I'm not-
standard. They're not like the standard 6-panel page. You know,
No.
they look cool.
they're a bit more 90s than that.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the comic book experience that I have had was a long time ago when I was about probably 18 or 19. I was in uni and I did a project called Sergeant Iron for a company called Dark Myth Studios. And that was pretty fun. But, you know, I was a major amateur back then. You know, you don't realize it at the time. You think you're like, oh, man, I'm all right. But I was a major amateur. So there was that, which I don't tell very many people about because I'm just embarrassed by it, really. I mean, it was a fun project. And then the other sequential stuff I've done was just, it wasn't really sequential. It was like set up on a, you know, like a 1920 by 1080 kind of dimensions. And there was like maybe 1 or 2 panels there. But for some reason, I seem to still have this knack for sequentials, which I'm really happy about. I don't know if it's because I'm just a big fan of the 90s and the comic book layouts and panel layouts that they did for those comic books, or just the fact I watch a lot of movies. Like, I really love movies, so I'm always looking at how shots are being composed. And what I love about sequentials in particular is how the sizing of the panels, especially when they're not uniform, forces you to come up with an interesting and creative composition each and every time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very creative for me, that process. I really enjoy that. If you think about a typical cover, like an A4 page, well, there's only so many compositions you can come up for with that standard set of dimensions. But a comic book panel can be any size.
Rob, can we have a look at the pit?
Yeah, I haven't got too much further. I'm still going over some little details, but sure. I'm just kind of scribbling some stuff in there. I'm kind of trying to tighten up some of my lines, but it's still pretty much the same. Still pretty much where I was at. I haven't gotten much further, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, shit, I got all these chains and things I got to do.
Chains, hardcore.
Yeah, I don't like all the little details in there. They're too much uniformity going on there. You gotta, I don't know, it takes all the fun out of it. But you can make a chain look cool. Todd McFarlane, he sure does.
He does indeed.
We've got a question from Lord Christopher John. Rob Willis, do you ever get tired of drawing huge guy after huge guy?
Yes, I do. I do. They're fun though. They are fun, and you know. But yeah, it gets old just like everything else. That's why I liked. I mean, what was the last thing I did? The last thing I did was cool. I got to draw Dr. Black and Heidi, so I got to draw some average-looking characters. And then in the Black Flag piece I did, Rascal. I liked drawing Rascal because he was like this little flexible, like Spider-Man type of guy.
Yeah, man.
And that was a nice break for me from all the big muscle-bound guys.
Absolutely. Ed Foychuk has an interesting question as well. With the he's wondering what the take home off of 80K is after expenditures.
I'm thinking as if it's just your book, say you're doing the writing and the drawing.
Yeah.
I would imagine somewhere between, I don't know. It depends on what you're paying your team too, like your colorists and stuff like that. But I think it comes if you get it done. Also, I think however fast you get it done counts too, because you got to pay taxes every year, right? Like,
Yeah,
if the
true.
project rolls over into the next year, I think you're paying more taxes on it. Or
Man.
you're paying a different set of taxes. And I think if you can get it done, I don't know. Somebody was explaining this to me, but if you can get it done between tax seasons, you save on taxes for some reason.
Right.
But I think you can roughly count on, if you 80K, probably between like 30 and 40K, maybe you'll get to bring in the other 30 and 40 in, maybe a little more, maybe 45, 50.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends, because shipping is going to be expensive. Printing is going to be expensive. Paying certain people, depending on what you're paying them, can be expensive. Taxes and the campaign fees. So
Yeah.
you just
From
got
what
to
I've
add all that stuff up. I'm not making that much money off Shinobi Sasquatch, I'll tell you that. But I'm still gonna draw it like I'm making a fortune.
hell yeah, man.
The thing is, though, your work on Shinobi Sasquatch has got your name out there a lot. So when it comes time for dredge, like, man, people will be there in droves.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. I'm trying to set myself up. I want it to be a setup for the future. So I may not be making that much money, but the experience and getting people's eyes on my work is compensation for the money that I may or may not be making. So I'm totally cool with it. And just because I'm not making a fortune off of it, like I said, doesn't mean I'm not going to draw it like I'm not making a fortune off, or like I am making a fortune off of it.
It's like when I worked with Aaron on Replicated 2, I couldn't pay him what his art deserved. But, you know, the situation worked out that it worked out for both of us because it was his first full book. I discovered him. He hadn't really had any work out there. And because he took that opportunity, he's now working for your boy Zach on, you know, Jawbreakers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to work with Zach. Don't know if I will, but I'm not sure. Not sure how Zach pays out. I know his books make a lot of money, so I'm sure he takes care of his artists. I talked to Zach one time, but I had just started Shinobi. He wanted to see like a resume, a portfolio or something. I didn't really have a whole lot of work to show him. And I think I sent him an email back explaining to him my current situation and how I wasn't really available, but if I did get into doing a book with him that I probably came off real shitty, but I was like, I wouldn't want a page rate. I'd want a percentage of the profits. And I sent the text, and I sent the email, and I didn't hear nothing back. And I was like, all right, well, he said, fuck you then. You know what I mean? Like, but then like a couple months later, I was going through my emails, and I realized the email never sent. So he probably thought I was an asshole and didn't respond back to him. Yeah, I was like, oh, shit, man. He was probably wondering why the hell I didn't get back to him. He probably thinks I'm a fucking dickhead. And here I am thinking it was him. So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll work with him one day. I don't know.
And it looks like Fraga's finished down there.
Yeah, I'm done.
That looks incredible, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Less than 2 hours.
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I realized I'm not good at drawing when I'm talking and on camera because I'm sitting here literally like doodling on the paper now. I'm like,
I suck at it. Dan has that down pat though.
I'm gonna get to it later. This is actually for somebody. They wanted me to draw a pit, and I figured this would be a good opportunity to get one of my little itty bitty commissions out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm realizing I'm probably not going to do it as much justice if I'm sitting here talking as I would if I was actually had it quiet in here and was concentrating and. But I was actually looking forward to doing some critiquing of other people's work if we got around to it. But it's looking like I'm not going to make it too much longer because I only have 3%.
All right, well let's get into it then.
Yeah, we'll get these up. Anyone who wants draw overs, we might do those tomorrow with Ed if we run a HTDC live critique session. But for now, we're going to get Dan and Rob to give us their thoughts on a few of these pieces. Some hot tips and advice that these artists could use to level up their artwork. So here's the first one. I did not save the name of the person who did this, but I'm sure they'll recognize their own art. What are your thoughts on this one, guys?
Well, there's a few different things. It's good. I mean, it's got potential. I like the pose on the Spidey with the hoodie on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
There's some strange muscle grouping going on in some of the areas.
Any area in particular?
That leg, that Spider-Man leg there is a little funky.
Right,
I don't know what. Right up in that thigh. He's got like 2 layers of a leg or something. It's kind of a little crazy looking, but it's not bad though. It's not bad. It's just maybe needs to look at the leg anatomy, study leg anatomy a little better up in that thigh area. The Spider-Man standing on top of the ledge there, the actual real Spidey.
Yep.
Not bad, but it would seem like you'd be looking at more of an up shot of him, seeing how the edge of the building's shaped. See, it's coming out and up.
Under his chin,
the
smaller
Spider-Man
head.
looks like it's kind of, he's straight on and should be leaned back just a little bit. Should have more of a bottom view there. And the same thing with the guy over there standing next to him. The guy holding the gun.
The Noah Spider-Man.
If he's supposed to be standing on that building ledge, he's at the wrong angle.
Good point.
I'm not enjoying the colors that much, and no offense, but the colors, the actual illustration feels pretty professional to me. Aside from the things that Mr. Willis had mentioned, which I would concur with. There's a loss of sense of space. It's a little collagey. Some people, if you look at even Dave Finch, someone like Dave Finch, they do a perspective grid. Even on something like this, to just get a sense of space, the Kim Jong-un way of doing things is he imagines boxes in space and he fills them.
Totally.
They don't feel like they're in the same space. They're kind of cool separately, but together they're kind of mismatched a little. That said, and the head size on a couple of them are a little big for my taste. But the colors kind of betray the skill of the line work.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good take, guys. The coloring is what lets this piece down the most. The perspective is the other main problem.
I like
great webbing.
I like the webs coming out though.
Great webbing.
The webs getting bigger. Those are really cool.
Yeah, they're great.
I like the spider face in the background. That looks pretty cool. I don't know if that was done digitally or if it was drawn in or whatever, but that's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, Kane said the composition's cluttered. Yeah, it's a little cluttered.
All right. So
next page.
Here's the next one. This is by Aaron Glendening.
His front leg is. It should be. I don't know. His knee looks a little bent, a little funny there.
Yeah.
That back leg looks like it should probably be pushed back more. The perspectives aren't. Man, that one's. He's not pushing his perspectives. It doesn't have the energy that it probably should because he looks really stiff. His shoulder's way too low. The one point in the gun, his arm's a little kind of going this way when it should be coming out a little more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the shading he's done on the black, like on the holster and the belt. That's pretty cool.
That's cool. The rendering on his belts and stuff is pretty good. But there's some other stuff that needs some work. That back arm's not too bad. The perspective he has, the shoulders lined up right with the head, but that front arm is way off. The shoulders should be up higher and closer, a little closer to the neck. And that leg, man, I don't know what's going on with that front leg. It should, if he pushed his perspectives a little more, even if he's going at an angle like that, that front leg should be up more. That back leg should be pushed back more to get more.
And that front leg that's coming, if you were to follow the geometry, we talked about this early. If you think of things as like cylinders and cubes and things like that, that front leg that's coming towards us, that the leg that's going back needs to kind of be pushed back and up underneath a little bit. Because right now it seems like he's kind of square dancing, like throwing his foot out, square dancing.
Yeah,
One thing, this is a small thing, but that shoe looks like it's on the wrong foot. Is that just me?
No, it looks like the wrong foot and the wrong era.
Yeah. Yeah, and this artist has gone for a very dynamic shot. The problem is that it hasn't been drawn in a dynamic way with the correct depth, even though that's the intention. So I think that one thing that would really help out here, and Dan covered this earlier today in the stream, is just constructing your characters with basic primitive three-dimensional shapes and then dressing them with the anatomy and then the clothes in on top. And what that's going to do is give you a really strong basis for dynamic shots like this that you want to create a 3D feel for, because the leg kind of looks like it's been drawn onto a 2D plane there when it should look like it's coming toward us, really. Like that knee needs to be turned inward and coming straight at us. Also, there's a bit of a lack of weight here to the character. For some reason, it's almost as though he's floating in a way, as if he's walking on air in a sense.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
I think this guy would benefit a lot from really loosely drawing in the full body. It looks like he almost tackled it piece by piece.
Hey,
rather than what's up, Art?
How you guys doing? Sorry about all the delay and everything. How's everybody doing?
Good, mate. Missing you.
Yeah. I get
shut up, and I'm.
Yeah. It's going crazy. Did you read the bleeding full article about the female whisper network? That it's actual true, it's fact, and they had an insider blow the whole lid off of it. So I had to do a quick pontificate for an hour just because it was breaking news. And now Ethan is we actually scooped everybody on that. So I apologize for being late, but that's kind of why. So Gail Simone and all these other people, it's been proven now that there is a conspiracy. There is a whisper network that is designed to attack us.
Wow.
Yeah. White males. Yeah, white males in Comicsgate.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these things, even in politics in general, are getting exposed right now. A lot of crazy, like cancel culture type things are coming out. So it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all.
Cool.
Rob, you had a question for Art, didn't you? I just wanted to remind you in case you.
I'm not going to get into it now because I'm looking at my I'm about to die. Like literally my thing's beeping, and I want to. I think me and Art. You've got a stream, right, Art? Didn't you invited me on at one point in time? I'd like to.
Yeah, we should do a stream and get together with a bunch of other artists. Maybe even Dan Fraga.
Not me.
Yeah.
Not me. No, of course me, man. I was just saying before you came on, you and I need to do something. Oh, Rob's already gone. What the hell?
Oh man,
he must have died. He died.
He ducked out. Too bad.
No, we got to do something, Art. Like we need to. It's been decades, like literally decades.
Yeah, just heard the news about your channel. Sorry about that, brother, but I subscribed to the new one.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, it's this new one's going to be better. It's going to be cleaner. It's going to be branded. I'm not too worried about it. Obviously I have to get remonetized. I got to get those 4,000 hours. You know, and obviously it, you know, growing the channel to 4,600 people, and then, you know, last night after it happened, I was at 0. I had to start a whole brand new. I had one called Fraga Boom, but I created it in 2017 so my kids could watch YouTube without affecting my history.
Right.
They were watching shit, and all of a sudden I'm getting like Baby Shark and all this stuff, along with the things I wanted to watch. And I'm like, no. You know, I don't need this shit in my like suggestions. So I created them their own one. So I told my daughter, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take this account and like take it over. She was fine with it. And so that's what I did. So that's the road ahead, is really just, you know, getting back and up and running. The thing that really bums me out, like, on one end, yeah, obviously we go, oh, the super chats are gone, and you know, et cetera, et cetera. That's all good. I like super chats. They help pay for StreamYard. They help pay for, you know, the internet. But the thing that bums me out is there, especially with my memberships, there's a real solid sense of community.
Yeah.
And I send stickers to them every month, you know, and the money that the memberships, like, I'm not operating at a loss per se, but I put it all back in, you know, and I get these stickers made and I get all this stuff made, and I getting all these emails. Why is my membership paused? What happened? You know, and I'm like, fuck, don't worry. You're going to get July and August stickers. I'm not going to, you know, we have your address, you know, everything's going to be good. But yeah, now, you know, it's been amazing. We're at, you know, 0.5,000 in less than 24 hours. So, you know, as far as subscribership, we're where we need to be for monetization. And now what I need to do is just stream and put up videos that people want to watch.
Well, have me on. We'll hang out. We'll try to generate some you know, new subscriber numbers. It's just crazy because, I mean, you're being very, very casual about this. I've been working on my channel for years and years, and getting those numbers isn't easy, man. I mean, it's like incremental, like 1-2 subscribers, you know, a week. And so you finally build up to like 25 or 50. And
here's the thing, man. This is what I talked about last night. I was on Nick Recada's stream, and I was talking about the concept of loss. You know? Like I've lost, you know, a parent. I've lost a best friend. I've lost, you know, grandparents. And no matter what you do, screaming at the wind is not going to change it, you know.
It doesn't make you feel better, though.
But you know, I've immediately filed for that appeal, and that's all I can do. And I can get mad about it. I can think, well, fuck, because I've been working on that channel. I started that channel in 2006.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't really start trying to kick its ass until October of this past year. And a lot of work, you know, streaming every night.
And all that bacon, all that
cholesterol. No, I mean, I could if I wanted to focus on that, but no, like this was one of the things that I also went, oh man, what a relief, you know, because I was talking to Anna, that Star Wars girl.
Yeah.
And, you know, she grew her channel, and my channel is sort of drama free. I don't really talk about too much stuff. I did last night. Funny enough, last night was the first stream where I talked about drama, right? Like I talked about Halle Berry, and I was personally offended. The Last of Us, I know, is a piece of shit game. I'm not a gamer, but the person who is the voice actor for Abby, the one character that everybody hates, is actually a friend of mine. It was an actor I worked with when I was on Monster High. She was one of my actors. I directed her, and I know her. She's a good person. And I know that voice actors take jobs. They don't go, oh, I think I'll be part of this subversive game. Yeah. They just go, okay, you want me to read it? How? Okay, they're in, they're out, they go. she was getting death threats. So that really pissed me.
What?
Yeah, that really pissed me off. So of course I
Right.
wanted to say something about it. But anyway, going back to what Anna had said, she said, you know, you need to clean your channel up. You need to have your thumbnails have a sense of sort of branding, a bit of this, and you know. And I remember thinking, shit, I've got 300 videos. I got to go through all of those, put brand new thumbnails on. I got to go through all the descriptions, tidy those up. Like basically, there's a certain etiquette to growth on YouTube. It's kind of like Replicated Rob, the document you're putting together about crowdfunding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every one of those, my only note on your thing, and it's great, is that for every one of those bullet points, there is a whole nother set of things, right? Like you go set up a YouTube channel as a platform, get out there, right? But dude, that's a fucking sheet and a half on its own.
They make it sound so easy, right? Like, oh,
right. It's one line in your thing, but it's a, you know, and talking to Anna, she's like, oh, live streams kill your stream. You know, unlist them, make your own, another channel where you put your archives of your live, you know, only put up new stuff. You want it to go to 10 minutes. Now it's 8. YouTube just changed it to 8 for mid-roll ads. So you want it there. You want your description to have, you want tags that are in your title and your description. Like there's all these things that will help ensure the growth of your channel that if you don't do them, and they're little, right? They're little, they're almost inconsequential. They slow you down. So I knew that I had over 300 videos that I needed to go and curate. And that was heavy on my mind. So when my channel got nuked, I went, fuck. And then I went, oh, wait, I could just start over. This is fine.
Well, I need to ask, what do you speculate is the reason why your channel got pulled?
Ass titty.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh. Not that I said ass titty. I made a video, and it was a nice peach of an ass with clothes, like she had a bikini on. It was
beautiful.
Yeah, it was another ass that had panties on. It was a set of cleavage that had clothing on. It was just boobies. And then another one where a girl had squeezed her boob to look like a heart. Again, no nipple. So ass, titty, frega, boom, 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Well, it had been reported, from what I understand in talking to Az, more than 3 times. It was reported as nudity and explicit sexual content. And YouTube looks at that and says, no, because it happened so many times and in such quick succession, they just said, fuck your channel and killed it.
Wow. I'm lucky then, because a Pontificators, not last Friday, but the Friday before, we got nuked. Like that video is gone. Like there's no, it's not in my history. It's completely gone. Like when you say nuke, that's what they did. Like there's no trace of it at all. I can't even, there's not even a you know, where I can fight it or I can contact them. It's completely gone. I did hear, so maybe this is like a little bit of a cautionary tale for any other YouTubers out there, because of the election coming up, that YouTube is being very, 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 very conservative. They're going to start, you know, pulling things, and anything they find offensive, they're going to start.
I'm going to behave. I mean, obviously, I'm going to say ass titty. I'm going to make an ass titty T-shirt now. You know, and I'm making the like lemons and lemonade, right? Like
lemonade.
That's just it. And like, if you look at my channel now, I have 4 videos up, and those are really pretty. Those are very pretty thumbnails. They're all branded. They all look good. And I'm gonna.
You should start branding it like your child's YouTube again.
Right. Right.
Maybe they won't get offended.
Right. And also, you know, it's like I'm going to only be uploading 3 videos a day. I'm going to do live. As soon as I'm done with live, I'm going to unlist them. I'm going to download them, move them over to the Frega Boom Live archive, which is going to be another channel, and really focus on growth, you know, and do it right. It's like I had a really cool car that had a lot of miles and it was great, but it needed a lot of work. Now I'm getting a fresh new car that has no mileage on it, and I got to go put miles on it. You know, that's
Let us
really
know if we can do anything, Dan. Yeah. Don't
yeah,
know what
sure.
just getting the word out. You know, that's it. It's a very simple URL. I went and made sure that I could get a good URL. It was youtube.com/C/Fragaboom. And there it is, you know. And thank you to Nick Ricada, thank you to Az, thank you to you, Red Valkyrie, and the Twitter at large, everybody who's been awesome on Twitter, you know, putting the word out. I see Kanan White. What's up, man? What is up, Kanan? I want to see your Black Flag piece all finished up, man. You teased me, you motherfucker, man. You know how I censored myself? I learned that shit. You motherfucker. You
You're up to 1.54 now, Fraga.
awesome. That is fantastic.
It's going up.
That's
Let's get
great.
back to the art because we're doing critiques. We're doing critiques. Art that's just joined us.
Cool. Let's see what Art has to say about this one. Actually, I'd be interested in hearing his thoughts. He's an experienced veteran.
You asked him mid sandwich bite, my friend.
Oh, did I? That's all right. It's even better.
I'm eating the worst thing possible for a live stream. It's peanut butter and jelly. So
Yummy.
I remember you talking about that on Twitter. I mean, damn, man, it is a good thing, man.
it's my favorite, man. It's weird because I went decades without eating it. And then all of a sudden, like a few months back, I'm like, I'm going to make myself a PB&J. And I was like, holy crap, this is delicious.
All right. We're going to get into this, Art. Chunky or smooth?
You know what? I prefer smooth, but I do like chunky as well.
Chunky's my shit. Okay, now, what's your brand? Skippy, Jif, some other brand?
I think this is Skippy that I'm eating now. Yeah, but I don't. I think Peter Pan is the only brand that I didn't like.
It's like sugar spread, right?
That's the only one I really recall that I didn't like. But you know what? I'll tell you, I like all kinds of jellies, like strawberry. You know.
Dude, you're in the land of Knott's Berry Farm, though, bro. You can go there and pick up
everything. Yeah.
Good shit. I
Yeah,
love raspberry preserves with the seeds in it, man.
In Australia, we never really got the whole peanut butter and jelly thing, did we, Clayton? Like, it's never taken off here.
You know what's strange is I was working on this movie back in 2004. The director is French, right? Good guy. He goes to the grocery store. This is like when we're about to wrap up and he's got to go back to France. And he buys a case of peanut butter, right? And I'm like, the fuck are you doing? I know Wire Witch. It's fine. It's a good story. So I go, dude, what are you doing? Is like, do you have the idea of the value of this in France? You know, and I'm like, no. So we end up having to do reshoots, and I get sent out to Paris. I have a flat. I go to the grocery store, the tiniest like jar, this like tiniest, like imagine Art like something that came in like a chew tobacco tin. Okay?
Yeah.
€8.
€8 in a tin?
Peanut butter.
Wow. One sandwich worth, right? It's like one
probably like 2 or 3 sandwiches worth if you were very, very judicious with how much you put on, right? Yeah, so he wasn't kidding. He's like, he could go be a peanut butter hustler in Paris. Like, I got the peanut butter, yo.
Well,
you know?
Hey, he was
awesome.
He opens up the jacket and he's just got tubs of peanut butter.
Yeah, yo, bro, I got the chunky, I got the smooth.
Well, don't you guys have the Vegemite or whatever the hell that is?
Yeah, I mean, have you guys tried Vegemite before?
I have. Yeah, it tastes like it tastes like vitamins. Like if you took a multivitamin, put water on it, crushed it, and spread it out. That's what it tastes like.
No.
Did you put it on really thick though, or is it like a nice thin spread?
I put a thin spread on a cracker. You know? Yeah, I didn't go globby on it. I didn't get all globby. No, man. Nice.
Did you like it?
It doesn't sound like it.
No.
You
and
did.
I like weird shit. I love anchovies. You know,
The other
You
day, and you were talking about squid burgers. Like, what the hell, dude?
octopus, man. Yeah,
I didn't get to fully give you shit about that on that live stream.
Mm,
But I'm like,
it's
what
good.
the hell are you talking?
But you know that list that they put out online that goes, "Are you a picky eater? What's your score?" You know, and you have to give yourself a point for everything you won't eat. I got a 0. Like I on the picky list, I eat everything. The only things I don't care for, I don't like sweet potatoes, and I don't know why. I don't like Vegemite. Sorry, man. And
It's okay.
and rhubarbs, like a rhubarb pie. Rhubarb really needs to be cooked all the way through. If it becomes that stringy, weird rhubarb, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like weird celery.
Yeah,
My dad liked rhubarb. I never did. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Rob, have you tried Promite before?
What is
I think so. That's just another version, isn't it?
It's different to Vegemite again, though. It tastes pretty weird as well. It's in it. You see, with Vegemite and Promite, these are acquired tastes. You know,
Yeah.
they're probably not nice by default.
What's the weirdest thing you guys ever had to eat? I ended up there was this writer named Jeff Loeb. He did The Long Halloween, and he was doing some work with Rob Liefeld and Ian Churchill, and what do you call it? We went to this weird restaurant that offered insects, right? Like
What?
Insects, you know?
Ah, yep.
And they had ant tacos, right? And Ian Churchill, this artist, ordered the ant tacos because he wanted to know, you know.
How many ants would you have to amass to make a taco? Like, that's like a billion ants.
The most bitter, nasty thing that you could ever eat. So I don't recommend ants.
Oh,
Well, my friend, right? He'd eat anything for money. So he ate week-old wet cat food that the cat wouldn't eat for $1.
Oh God.
yeah. Why?
Just because, like, you know, when you're a teenager and you're like, you won't do it. You're
damn.
I'll do it. And so,
Yeah.
And then we went hiking, or not hiking, camping, like 5 years ago. And we just got attacked by flies. And we ended up catching like 100 flies and putting them in like Coke bottles.
Oh,
And then he was like, "Hey, dude, you gonna eat that for $100?" And he's like, "All right." So he put all the flies
gross.
on the grill,
Oh.
cooked them up, and then put them in a sandwich and ate it for $100.
At least he cooked them up, and you know, I mean, there are some sauces that'll make. I mean, you could put like certain barbecue sauces on a shoe, and it's okay, you know. So
Yeah, but don't you guys know that insects are the future? They're high in protein.
Yeah.
We're all going to be eating them in 20 years' time.
They're a good
It-
last
it
resort.
could be a lot sooner.
But you know what? Hey, Dan, even though the French put escargot or snails into like a garlic sauce, it's still a snail.
I like escargot. I eat them and ate them and dig them.
Well, you like the
Wow.
texture of octopus too, right? So
I do.
you don't have a problem with, like, it's the texture, it's not the flavor.
That's how I feel about sweet potatoes.
That's really mushy, right? Like, sweet potatoes are.
They taste like a sweet oatmeal-ish, like they have a good taste, but then the texture betrays it. And my brain, there's something in my brain that goes, "No, sir."
No, I don't like them either. Like Thanksgiving, you know, they're abundant here in the States, and I can't do it.
Yeah.
See, a lot of the
weirdest-
time it's the
weirdest thing
texture
about
that's weird.
The weirdest thing I've eaten is crocodile and kangaroo.
A kangaroo.
What?
How's that? How's kangaroo?
It's just tough. You know.
It's gamey, right? Most like deer and all that stuff is just kind of gamey.
Yeah.
I've had
There's a
some
lot-
croc. I've
Um,
had croc before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think shark. I like shark.
Shark is delicious.
Delicious.
it's pretty
man.
good.
It's like a steak. It has the flavor of a steak, but it flakes like a tuna. You know what I mean? Like it blows your mind. It's so good.
Now,
Yeah.
what? Shark and swordfish are the best for like barbecuing. Yes, sir.
Nice.
And then my third favorite is salmon. Some people say salmon's an
Yeah.
acquired taste. I don't think so. I think
I eat salmon almost
That's
every
great.
day. I eat salmon.
Good for you.
almost every day. It's a brain food. If you guys, you know, we've talked about this on the stream before, Clayton and Rob, about doing the best you can, being the best you can be. And a lot of what I do, even though I do terrible things to my body, like drink alcohol and smoke marijuana, I also do things to counter it, right? There's this guy named Jim Quick, Kwik, Jim Quick. And he has the top 10 brain foods, right?
Cool.
Broccoli is on the list. Avocados are on the list. Blueberries are on the list. Eggs, salmon, leafy green vegetables, dark chocolate, water. There's a couple I'm missing, but salmon is.
I like all those things.
Yeah.
I like dark chocolate, milk chocolate. Okay. What was eggs? What was some of the other? Salmon.
Broccoli, avocado, blueberry.
My favorite. Asparagus and broccoli are my favorite vegetables.
Yeah.
And then carrots. I know carrots is a mainstay.
I have a nickname. I have a nickname for asparagus. You want to hear it?
What?
I call them the oh yeahs. I tell my wife, I say to my wife, "Oh, you're cooking the oh yes." The reason why I call them that is, like, I'll eat dinner, I'll come down here, I'll work, maybe 20 minutes, half hour go by, I gotta take a leak, and I'm like, what is that smell? Oh yeah.
Dude.
How is anyone's favorite vegetable broccoli, Art?
Broccoli's awesome.
You know what? I'll even go further than that.
It can be,
I
yeah.
like it raw. I don't like it cooked that much. Like, I like it in like Asian, like pasta, like what is it, like noodles, stuff like that. I like it. But I like it raw, and I like cauliflower raw too. I don't like cauliflower cooked as much. I like my vegetables more on the raw side, and I hear they're better for you that way too.
Cauliflower is like broccoli's ugly son.
Cauliflower is kind of like it tastes like what is it? It's like lettuce, but it's not.
Oh, romaine?
No, but it's not. It's
kale?
No, I can't think of the name right now. They usually use that in fish tacos. You'll know.
Oh, cabbage.
Cabbage, yeah, it kind of has a cabbage taste to it.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a watery cabbage.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, gentlemen, I got to get going. I keep getting a text. A buddy of mine, he's a fantastic director of movies and things, and he is like, "Oh yeah, are you done? Are you done? Are you done?" So I'm gonna get going.
That's cool, man.
Thank you so much for having me, Art Thibert. Let's do something soon. Rob, Clayton, you guys, I love your show. I made sure with this new channel I'm following you. My alerts and notifications are set to all, so I know when you guys are going live. Art Thibert, I blocked you.
I follow your new channel and you block my old one.
No, I appreciate it, man. No, you. I mean, I made sure to I went through and I was like, because that's the other thing that I lost out on. I was subscribing to so many channels, and I'm like, gotta do this. Who else? I'm running through my brain of like who. So, yeah. So I'm gonna make this phone call. I might head over to Ethan's in a little bit, but I gotta take care of this thing. You guys are amazing.
Thanks for being here, man.
What's he calling about? What's he calling about, Fraga? What's he offering you?
It's a storyboard for a pitch for a Netflix show, and I can't say any more than that.
Oh,
but it's
exciting.
Just a couple days of work. Nothing that's going to kill Black Flag. So
good stuff, man.
I will see you guys in a bit. Without what do they say? I don't know if you have this. I know you guys say things like "have a cuppa." You guys gonna have a
cuppa?
Yeah. Rob's
I'm gonna have a cuppa after this.
But we have a saying here, which is "no homo," right? I fucking love I fucking love you guys. I really do. I love you guys. No homo. So I'll see you guys later, all right?
No worries, Dan. Have a good one, mate.
See you later.
All right.
One was left.
I thought the late comer.
The
late show.
How badly did I destroy your show here? Well, you had Rob.
You totally derailed it, but it's fine.
Dude, it's been
That's why we invite you on, man.
Wow, this has been fun and hilarious and entertaining and everything.
You better tell us about this conspiracy, Art, because I'm a bit new to this. I know that Gail Simone is
Let me
she's a
find-
figure. She's a figurehead. But what's all going down?
Let me find the article.
Secret whisper gangs.
Yeah, it's up on Bleeding Fool. If you guys have
Okay.
that.
Yep. Bleeding Fool.
And the article's called Expose, the Whispered Network exists and seeks to destroy male comic pros.
That's not good for us.
Yeah, we're male comic book pros. I'm surprised they didn't throw white male comic book pros in there, because that would have been even more insulting.
Racist and sexist.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
I had an idea for you and Fraga. You weren't here, so I pitched it to him. A crossover book, and you can call it Black and White Flag.
What did you say?
Black and White Flag, a crossover book.
Okay. Yeah. What is it? Like the checkered flag is the one where you win the race, right? Or the end of the race is the checkered flag. Yeah.
Something like that.
I sent the article. It's in the private chat.
Cool. I'll get it up here.
I'm sure that's what Ethan's talking about right now, because this is big.
We'll have to do like a larger show on it, on an actual Robin Clayton show one day, I think, Rob. But I'm curious. Like, I want to know what's going on.
Well, the thing about it is, it's also just, this is the first part, so this rabbit hole goes pretty damn deep.
Oh, okay. Well,
this is the kind of thing that you really don't want to let Ethan know about, because he's going to go on about this for a long time now. You've given him unlimited ammunition.
I guarantee you he's talking about it right now, man. There's no way he's not.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. There's a lot to go through.
You're going to be in for it.
Yeah, this is validation for everything that we've been talking about for the last couple of years.
Well, Rob, we got to go this. We'll have to go through this at a later time, because we only got 5 minutes left. But it's a big topic, this stuff. But you know what I love, Art, is that we've kind of taken back the power here. I mean, you've got your books that are out on Indiegogo right now, Chrono Mechanics and Black and White.
Yep.
You're killing it with that. Rob, you've got Replicator. We've got Kozor coming up. We're taking it in our own hands, and we're directly connecting with our customer base. And that relationship has never been tighter than it is now. And I heard that Ethan is actually kicking butt with Wrecked Planet 2 when you compare his numbers, the amount he has made from his book, to the books that Marvel is putting out right now. Like, he's beating Thor.
Yeah, he's number 2 overall.
I think the only thing it's a Marvel book, and it's Secret Wars, right? That's the only book that's above him right now, and that's
amazing.
That's big. That's massive.
It's insane when you think about it, because it's Ethan and Kyle and a letterist and whatever, whoever else going to production, versus a whole multi-billion company.
Yeah,
like an advertising budget. Yeah,
David versus Goliath.
Yep, exactly.
It gives us all hope. If Ethan can do it, that means that any one of us can do it as well. Ethan's been around for a while, of course, but it's his other qualities, I think, that really sell his books. There's other pros that have tried this in the past and seen nowhere near the level of success that Ethan has seen. So we got to be looking at him closely.
By far, best promoter in comics by far.
Oh yeah, and there's enthusiasm, there's excitement, and people are looking forward to not just creating, but to picking up the next book. It's nothing short of amazing. I say this all the time. It's the pinch me moments. I've been doing this for 35, 36 years. I've never seen anything like this ever. I was part of Image in the early days, and as amazing as that was, it was uniquely different. Like there was camaraderie in the early Image days, because all 7 and all the supporting guys, we all needed each other. But as soon as there wasn't that need, and everybody could kind of survive on their own, they all kind of separated.
Totally.
Comicsgate, it's built in. that factor that the way it works is that, the way it feeds is that new people come in, established people share their platforms and their bigger voice with them. And then the idea is the people starting out will move up, and then they'll share their platforms and so on and so on. So there's no end to it. And also, it's not a corporate mandate, and it's not a company. We're all doing this and sharing this by design, because we want to. It's not because we're mandated to or that we have to. And that's a big, big difference, that people are doing this because they want to. They're giving up their time because they want to, not because they have to. And I've never seen anything like this.
That's how you make really good stuff, when people are here because they want to be here, not because they're trying to make a buck or two. It's amazing stuff. So this is Black and White, and this is your project art. I'm really looking forward to this book.
Thank you. Yeah, so Black and White, we ran the campaign last year. We did really, really well. I think we ended at about 70K. We had, well over 1,000 backers. I think it was like 1,200 backers, something like that. And so we overprinted, which was good. It was fortuitous because I didn't even really think that there was going to be like a second life for the book. We just kind of did it. And so after we ended the campaign, we got a lot of people asking, like emailing, messaging, and saying, how do I get one of these books? You closed the campaign. And so this went on for months and months. And so when things settled down a little bit, we got it fulfilled, the original campaign fulfilled. And me and my wife could take a breath. We thought, well, it's time to do a second chance. Let's give people a second shot at the book. And so that's what this campaign is now. And to be honest, we were thinking, maybe 10, we'd do 10K for the entire, month, the entire 30 days. And we beat that in like the first 24 hours. So the response has been overwhelming, and I'm so thankful for that. And so with this campaign, we decided that I would do a new piece of artwork. So that's what that piece is. If you scroll a little bit, you can see it. Yeah, right there.
Beautiful.
Thank you. That's the Total Bot Annihilation artwork. And so, yeah, Kyle Ritter did the colors. I did the pencils and inks. So that is unique to this campaign. So I wanted to do something that would set this aside from, the original campaign. So we made that into a poster, an oversized poster, and it's going to be a trading card that every one of the backers will get.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I backed
Love
this
that.
one. This one, I got the volume 1.
Oh, cool.
I said I would, so I did. And yeah, the art looks fantastic, man. You obviously, that. So.
Well, thank you. I also have, this is a little bit of an exclusive. I have make-readies for the trading cards here.
Oh, nice.
So it's not just the Chronos front and back, but I also have, we're getting a jump on this campaign. So here's those cards that I was talking about.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's
Cool.
the front, and then underneath it is the back. And then the one in the middle is the Zach Bradley card, and that's for the pre-launch. So anybody who signed up for the pre-launch and backed a book, you'll get that card. And then, of course, the Caravaggio cards with front and back. So, yeah, we got all – oh, that's a layout. That's a Green Hornet layout. Yeah, so then we have all the cards.
Nice.
So, yeah, these are the make-readies from the printer. So things are moving forward. We should get those cards back pretty soon. And as soon as we get the black and white cards back, we will start fulfilling the black and white campaign because we have – the books are all printed up. Let me show. I got the books here. So there's the Great Capullo variant. So the book, thanks. The books are all printed up. And also we finally got the Chrono Mechanics proof that is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this was the old one. This was the first one. And you can kind of see that it's cropped weird. Like it's right on that. And then you can see this one is cropped correctly.
Much better.
Yeah. So this is like things that you have to deal with when you work with printers. Sometimes there's miscommunication. Sometimes there's things that slip through the cracks. And right now we just realized that all the files were sent as RGB. And I don't know if you guys, Rob, if you sent your book out yet, but it's all CMYK, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So somehow the letterer that I'm working with, he didn't put them CMYK. So when we got those proofs back, I was like, the color looks really saturated. And he goes, and they finally did the detective work, like they didn't know. And so a smart lady, there's always that one person, right, that's able to see through all the BS and, the people that you've been dealing with. And she just went and she goes, well, it's RGB, and RGB is always going to be more saturated than CMYK. So then we had to resend the files in that CMYK so that they could print it up properly. So, yeah.
That's so annoying when people mess around with the files. So it gets me.
I know, because we're artists, right? Because it doesn't matter what you did at the board, like I'm drawing right now. It doesn't matter here. It doesn't matter how many people killed themselves, lettering, coloring, whatever. And then it could all be destroyed in the printing process, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We actually have to wrap it up here at the 2-hour mark, but Art, we got to get you back on more often. Like the first show that we did with you, that's been one of our most popular shows. You just gave so much value, and you're a bit of a character as well. So we enjoy having you here.
You guys are awesome. Yeah, I love hanging out with you. That's a great part about Comicsgate too, is because like there was my wheelhouse of people, and then when you launch your campaign, you just put out the bat signal and say, "Hey, I'd like to go on anybody's show." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then all these people contact you, and that you may not have met unless you were in this kind of campaign mode. And then you start going on all these shows, and you start realizing, like, I didn't know how big Comicsgate was. Like, I knew it was big, but like you guys, and there's other channels, there's other people creating, and so on and so forth. It's nuts. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Well, everybody who's watching, check out Black and White. Check out Chrono Mechanics, Art's projects on Indiegogo. Check out Replicator 3. Sign up to that. That's launching at the end of the month. Are you launching at the end of this month as well, Rob?
No, Kozor.
Yeah. Kozor. So Kozor.
Oh, okay.
Just me. So Kozor is coming up, and we're really, we're under the pump for that. Trying to get this cover done before then and to get the campaign set up. So that's really exciting. And of course,
then you showed me the other day.
Yeah,
that thing's coming. That thing's coming along, man.
It's going to be epic.
Clayton doesn't mess around, you guys. Like, he puts the detail down.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a curse or a gift, but
we give him stick about him being slow, but when he puts it down, he puts it down.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got, of course, Rob Willis's project, Shinobi Sasquatch, and lastly, we've got Black Flag from Dan Fraga. So check those projects out. They're cool. They are all books that have amazing visuals, and being comics, that's definitely something that you want. Other than that, if you like more drawing tips, tricks, and tutorials, check out howtodrawcomics.net. And to follow everything Rob and I are doing and all the wonderful creators we have on the show, head on over to bartonbrostudios.com. Cool.
Thanks, guys.
That's all right.
See you later.